time travel guy. Space light mechanism of this level is space light quantum eraser build zone with mind, lucid dreaming, sent as mist. So it uses the shields of the quantum eraser experiment to build to shield your mind that is absorbed through the quantum eraser experiment behind your eye, and it sends your mind like a mist. I'd like to describe that a little more here. Let's see. How did I describe that? A simple mechanism that catapults to the next horizon. So our horizon is at like 18 billion years, and that's like a beginning. So what you do is you have a shield, a flood of light wave formed particles that deflect the particles and light waves that hit your information stream and absorb that to your rotated or built sphere, which is your lens that forms at the edge of the observable universe from here. And so that's like a direct path that doesn't need to deflect anything because it's instantly rewritten throughout time for that source. Then, from that source, you're going to be in the past, 18 billion years in the past, and you want to go to the next horizon of current time or whenever. You're going to deflect and protect that information flow that has your shield that goes right to the source of the next horizon. And you can keep going horizon with this method. And so you can build multiple shields by hitting your source at a particular angle, just like when you play pool. So if you have several shields, just make sure you aim it right on the dime, and it will fray the point. It will hit the pool ball, it will hit your shield, and it will fray and continue to protect your information flow. While your information flow is on the dime, on the money, deflecting, it's traveling to your next observer, your next lens, the sphere. And then, when it's time to return, you hit the same or a new observer at the edge of our 18 billion year horizon, and then you'll be at the origin of that horizon, and then you fray again to get back to us, to present day, or to whenever you want to, because you can return before sin with this information flow. So your shield deflects all interference in the return path back to us. So the strategy is, the mechanism is, you go straight to the edge, then from the edge, you're all the way back at the beginning of the universe, and then you can aim that to any other horizon, to the next horizon. You can aim that at the next horizon, and then you have to rearrange light particles so that you're at present day in that next horizon. So you fray from our edge, which is the beginning, and absorb all distortion, and rearrange light particles to where you arrive to current day or before sin. And then you want to return, so let's just go a simple return and not worry about going further. So then you return back to our horizon, which is it's a straight shot back to the origin. And then you fray from there to get back to us at present day. You're rearranging the light particles to streamline the speed and get back to us before sin. So the mechanism is the same as projecting onto like a wall, like at the theater. Like you don't necessarily, it's just a set of mirrors, and the scan of the next, of where your next observer is going to be, like you're not going to know, but you can read whether it's returned or not and your success or not through a scan of where it potentially is. So by hitting it at different angles, by hitting our edge observer at different angles, it will scan the next horizon for another observer at that edge. There's a lot of sky to scan, but there's ways to construct it to where you can hit a large area very quickly. So it only takes a moment to get to the next place and then return. And you know, once I know I can go into it further, but I've talked about it a lot before. But this is a nice thing to describe to you. Squadron surfing suit. Squadron flies toward the beach, creating a wake that gets surfed. So when squadrons, which have all kinds of like air shows and demonstrations and executing strategies all the time, when they fly low to the ground, like on the water, going at those like speeds, it creates like waves and things. I think that'd be a great thing for a surf show, like competitive surfing. You have the same exact wave. Like it'd be really a good way to create a control for a surf competition. That way you really know who's the best surfer, because all of them will be surfing the same exact wave every time. Especially with Air Force technology, like they know exactly the height that they would need to fly at to create the same exact wave every time. Which is the same technology they have to use all the time for wind currents and things. And I bet they have to use it for water currents as well. Tides and things. Be a great demonstration of how powerful the Air Force is. Water collection, 1 inch of 1 mile equals millions of gallons of water. So if you collect water from like a tarp, it can fill up a water tank real quick. So really a great way to be able to continue flying around the world, around the US. One of the ways to fill a water tank is through that. So the rain, not only through the rivers and ocean. Solar studio with clear reflecting to the roof at ground level. I'd like to have a studio that has the ground level with the city underground as a cellar. And the roof is clear, and the clear roof has a reflection so that it refracts the light onto the walls that are clear. space that I'm creating. I really like the idea of being in a burned out house. That would be really awesome. Capture interesting spirit level images through water and capture interesting spirit level imagery by taking photographs through drops of water at electrical fields and places of historical significance. It's a really interesting shot through tracking things. And yeah, it's just a really nice way to see things in a new light. And the electrical fields it really does do things like that. It really does. It doesn't. I'm not saying the ghosts exist or anything like that. Even though we can create them like quite easily with modern technology, like you can get really interesting like imagery that creates something that looks like a spirit of some kind. Supernatural resonance offering compliant. So there's a lot of people saying ghosts exist and things like that. Well, most of that stuff's like optical illusions of things, and it'd be nice to be able to study that with like several different methods that I've created that isolate the source of those illusions. And also, it'd be a great way to create your own illusions as a place for your externalized mind to live. Like create your own ghost once your mind's externalized, you know? So, I like the idea of using like, I talked about the matrix being out of hieroglyphic as walls. Another thing you can do is, you don't have to use hieroglyphic walls. You can use like, cave painters and caves for themselves. And, like live in spaces and walls and marks and, live them out in the same way that time has created those things out. I was kind of drawing a blank on like this master method work that on optical illusions and ways to actually create those modern technology. Well, one way is with mechanisms like creating out of, plastic or glass or water. One thing that often I've noticed is you can really create really interesting shadows. So it's really limitless on times that, like certain times of the year, the ability to create like spiritual-esque illusions. I had this apartment complex, like I had this place in an apartment complex, and it was a townhouse or condominium or something. Anyway, it had like some wood behind it, right? And at a particular time of the year, the light when the sunset would shine through all the leaves in the woods, and it created the most fantastical like dance of shadows. It was like I've never seen anything like it before. It was like fire and leaves. It didn't look like leaves at all, but it was like people and objects and things were dancing. It was a type of transparency from all the leaves and branches moving that's you really can't. I've never seen any way to create that. It just had the perfect amount of woods, the right angle of the light, and everything to where, and the right space from the woods to the wall. It's only on one wall, through the light, through the window. that you can see this. So there's lots of things like that that happen. And people would be like, if that was a spirit, you know, would be like, oh, that's when the person died or some kind of thing. And it wasn't. It was just this really intricate, like, scene, you know. And people would be like, oh, that's someone's life passed before your eyes or something. So what about that? I said that supernatural resonance, often confinement, matrix out hieroglyphic S walls, creative generations, in making to find many things. Search for use of natural formation of spiritual regions, like what might have caused the surface naturally reflection plate and smoke. Also, radio frequency shielding with copper boxes. Lots of strategies. Illusion of teleportation. This is a good one. Illusion of teleportation. 3 drones towing 1 screen and 1 drone and an extra drone tows a projector. We have a screen and we have a projector. And they're also a drone. So at night, in particular, a large screen tow won't be seen. You won't be able to notice it as a screen. And it can be right up on you, right? Like it can be right in front of you. You wouldn't know it. And the projector is able to project illusion, teleportation, extreme speed onto the screen in any form. So you have the light form painted on the side really fast, or you can actually have an aircraft that fly at you and then also teleport to another place, like super speed. And it's just a screen sitting in front of you that you can't notice it. It's very small. This is good for decoys, like camouflage with the aircraft. So the screen can rise first and quickly hover over unknown enemies and visually hook us and distract whatever on the 2 parts of the sky is radar and wherever we need to. Firing synapse dot. The mechanism of this level is external mind structure and mechanism of light focus streaming and heat on cell phone. So your hand on a cell phone and cold creates a lens of heat that then focuses light through the lens. It creates another lens of heat. Just a simple basic building block of building a mechanism of light. A and I are not the only words in AI. AI and the and symbol are not the only words in the alphabet. You can often said with just saying a few words, but that would be a letter A, the letter I, which is like the ritual included out. So, but there's a lot more if you add, if you consider the two letters next to each other as a word, or even the alphabet was created for one purpose, and that was to write the Bible out. Like the formation of our alphabet was made, was transformed to be able to write the Bible. So they're thinking really intricately, right, about end result was the word. And that was, it ends up telling the story. Like, if you look at the words by, like, no, that are formed, like, almost every, there's like several, it tells a story of the devil being kicked out of heaven by God. Very interesting. I'll pull one up here just one little bit. Matrix sleep states floods of fluctuating system. So there's the Matrix, right? It describes a story of how we're all being used as batteries, and that's actually accurate. But it's not about power. We're not being used as power. Like how we're saving power is our brains creative problem solving super efficient. So, and when we're asleep, like you can't build a computer like that can create problem solve like us without spending a lot of money and using a lot of energy, much more than our brains use. So when we're asleep, with lucid dreams, you can plug that into a system and it can fix things like a factory or in a computer code. Our creativity can be used just like in the Matrix, like we get plugged into the Matrix, and maybe that's why we don't remember a lot of our dreams, is because we work on like all kinds of problem solving things. Anyway, I know for a fact that's going on, that our brains are capable of being plugged in, and probably are being plugged in into computer programs when we're asleep to we're like factory working. And that's our primary value, I think, in our current state, is that we go to work every day to be self-sufficient and buy our food, and if we're good enough at what we're doing when we're asleep, we get, like everything that happens to us while we're awake is used to form our brains when we're sleeping for the right, so that we're in the right mindset in our sleep state, dream state, plugged it into whatever system to maintenance those things there. Because you can't create a computer with this creative problem solving without spending a lot of money. Pyramid eagle on the back of the dollar bill. So the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill and the eagle is really interesting combination there. So you can create, like originally pyramid, like the word pyramid in Egyptian is actually translated as earthbound star, earthbound stars. And so they got these glowworms in Morocco, and you can cover the pyramids in glowworms, and then eagles can eat them off, and like that would be this like all-seeing eye kind of like experience. Another thing about the pyramids that we'll talk about is that they're covered in limestone, and that can create beer when it rains on them. So when it was raining on them, it was a big deal. Like, it's like, oh, there's that big thing in the distance. We can go over there and have this party with all these glowworms on there, like creating this thing. And then when it's done and it starts raining, because they time it perfectly to the rain season, they got like this beer fest, like drinking lots of beer that's created, alcohol that's created off the flow of the water, off the limestone. Anyway, it's a pretty interesting thing there. ancient flight mainframe. So there's lots of evidence of right-angled satellites in indigenous artwork that is in the skies. So, like, it's in every culture they have like these right-angled things depicted in their artwork that is in the sky, floating in the sky, like the satellite that we have present day. And there's a lot of time between the ice age, the last ice age, and then the creation of modern society, or like the first cities and stuff. And that's very strange, you know, because as individuals, we invent a lot of stuff. You know, we invent a lot of things, and so it's I think that's a way to create a peace, is to unite all to like Judaism through ancient flight mainframe evidence, because Judaism was like you know, one of the first. It's like it's oldest religion, and the oldest cities, like one of the oldest cities. They say there's some older cities than Babylon, I think is what they call it. But it's an ancient city, and I think that it's a satellite city, and I think we'll be able to create a world peace if we can link. If we can find evidence of similar like of these satellite structures, because I have this idea that like people naturally collect into search for wisdom in things, you know. So they would like travel like in this ice age, like the smartest people would survive, and then they would naturally gather in that area of above Mesopotamia. I think it's in like the Turkmenistan desert from what I was reading and what I've seen on Google and stuff. And it could be people trying to steer me wrong, but I'm probably not the only person who thinks this. But yeah, if we find evidence of it, then we should way to world peace. And it's so easy to externalize. I mean, it's like a vast number of years of like super collaboration. So let me read my notes here, what I got about it. Where is this? Ancient flight mainframe made of wise men, Sandman, our cheap minds' creative computing, immortalizing existence. Founding Fathers, World Trade Center, site Russia, calling origination Turkmenistan. Many outline Mayan murals, metallic satellites, extreme tech gaps over us, engineering all supernatural moves. So it really, ancient flight mainframe composed not of aliens, because aliens are disproven by the quantum research experiment. Like intelligent life beyond our own is disproven by the powerfulness of the quantum research experiment, which I've talked about before. The result leads us to know that whether it's time travel or not, that wise men, ancient wise men, because there's this time gap in society and when our brains were exactly what they are today, that there's enough time there to create a society that, and I don't necessarily think that it would be this mass society. I think originally it probably was like all the wise, like a really smart guy went around collecting wise people, right? And then these people end up building computers, right, and flight, and they end up building, like, externalizing their minds eventually and creating creating like an ancient flight mainframe. So like they create this, they create satellites, and they're not like mass, they're not like flooding. You know, I think that it's just like one city. I think because it's very inclusive. Like you have to be supervised or expelled. You know, maybe not. You know, but yeah, and like they end up doing the Sandman thing, like finding that like you can plug your brains into it, and then they figure out like, hey, we need as many people as possible to create problem solving to be able to like immortalize existence, which is the meaning of life. And that's found like really quickly, like you don't have to have any technology at all to take a look at life and know that the meaning of life is immortalizing existence. It kind of be nice to have that separation between this like thing we see in the movies and like what is the meaning of all life. You know, like they kind of say it's like, oh, it's impossible, it's just a joke. But it is really basic to figure it out. It takes a second, but it's really basic. So when I was at the World Trade Center, I was like searching the map for Monster World Trade Center complex. I was searching Google Maps for the origin, you know, of where it might actually be, the original city. And it looks like there's this like strange thing in the Turkmenistan desert where it looks like Russia is citing a place. Like it's randomly in Turkey, and then all of a sudden they have like some Russia thing. Like it has this like strange marking on the map that calls out this place. And if you zoom in on it, it has like this strange character that's probably not really there, but they do that all the time. Anyway, I think it would be something interesting to go see. And then right beside it, they have this like crater, you know, that, and it's going to be buried, and it's still going to be functioning. So like it's still going on because a society of wise men, like theoretically, never fails. Like it's not going to fail. You know, so that's still in existence. And the original guy is immortal, and he made some other guys, and I'm sure they put a cap on it because you can't, you know, because we'd be flooded in it. You know, and it seems like it was exclusive anyway because we have all kinds of stuff like that around. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is right now. Anyway, I know that city more than likely exists, and that type of city exists anyway because we have time travel, you know. So we got that. Anyway, we have many murals and indigenous artwork that depict metallic satellites with like right angles. It's not like they're depicting plasma or asteroids or comets. Like they got these squares in the sky. And that's really interesting. And we know it's not aliens. We know it's us. So we know it's either time travel, which we know exists, because it's recorded on rockets, and the quantum eraser experiment rewrites light waves to particles throughout time to the source. So if you get really good at it, you're able to do things like that. And by that existing, it kind of that extreme tech gap, which already exists. Extreme tech gaps already exist between what the government has and what we have. So like where that tech gap ends, it's not far-fetched because what we have, like with computers, is nothing compared to what the government has with computers. And then what the government has is nothing compared to what the Air Force has with computers. And so what they have could be, you know, where does it end? Where does the line end? Like, where does history end? Does it continue to go way back in the past? that's where Air Force can already go anyway. That's what I'm saying. So that's how that works. So that kind of like engineers all supernaturals, like that tech guy. So you can't. There really isn't anything supernatural. You always like any kind of thing like this aliens because we can do it. Like any kind of like crazy thing that you see. Like we've always been like there's no one older. There's no one alive today that wasn't alive when at least radio was around. You've always been submerged in like the ability to create illusions. So that completely like takes away the idea that you can be any kind of like crazy thing beyond. Like it's not gonna be like werewolves or ghosts or like vampires or anything like that. You know, there's no aliens. Because Occam's razor cuts all that out if you can actually explain the technology and illusions and pranks and things. So, yeah. The design of a hospital bed or deathbed neutralizes the lack of control and efficiency to experience. So you need to have a successful viewing that's not painful in a 360 video on YouTube. You got to ground. You gotta add like you gotta get past your car, which is that video that one actually won some sort of Grammy or something, not a Grammy. Where you can't move around, you can look around. Otherwise, you get irritated at what you're looking at. This is a dark subject here. Either morphine overdoses you, or your heart tears it up. Or your heart tears it up. So on your deathbed, morphine overdoses you, your heart overdoses your heart and tears it up. Or the pain convulsions use the brain's oxygen until its ability to beat, the heart dies. So, you got two ways going at the end of your life. And this is why you should never use any kind of like morphine or any kind of painkiller like that. Because you're going to need it at the end of your life so that the doctors know what they're doing and don't overdose you. And so that your heart is strong, you know. Because you want to make sure that they're on the dime about it so that you don't overdose. Or so that the pain convulsions that you naturally get, even if you're not conscious, don't asphyxiate your brain until your ability to beat the heart dies. That's the only way you're going on that hospital bed, is either being murdered or accidentally dying by morphine or committing suicide through morphine, or the natural way, which is where the pain convulsions, like the muscle contractions that happen unconsciously from the pain, end up burning up all your brain's oxygen until it can't beat the heart. Because they can throw you on the oxygen machine and have your lungs going. But once that heart goes, that's it. You ain't gonna be able to. You can only get so many shocks in before you're done. You know? But you got that oxygen machine go for a long time, pumping air in your system. It's just like pumping. You know, there's a lot about it I don't know, but that's what it is right there. You know. to say there's other things to stop working. There's really not. You can literally decapitate yourself, you know, except for the part that makes your heart work, and you'd be good to go. You know, as long as you got all of the stuff, pumping the stuff, making the stuff work. Theoretically, that's all you need. It's just like your heart beating. I don't know. Sounds right. Maybe not to that extent, but it sounds right. Oh yeah, the sound of the news shows. This is kind of fascinating here. The sound of the news shows is criminals watching to see if they are caught. So, on the news shows, they got this like high-pitched like screech. It's almost like something bad, and you don't even know. Like, there's no way really to tell the difference between a news show and regular TV, right? Like, how do you know it's not just like there's a sound in it that like you know that sound is like criminals watching to see if they're caught. I don't know, it's a theory I got. And it's pretty accurate. I don't see if you notice the same thing. It's kind of fascinating. And it's also, people are thinking it like it's also the sound of victims looking to see if the criminals are caught. Not so much. You know, I don't think it's so much that. As much as criminals watching to see if they've been caught yet. There's a lot more criminals watching. It's got this very devious sound. It's really funny. These sounds are devious often. And it's just like a guy talking, you know. Like this background, the voice in there. It's like watching a horror movie. Repositionable archetype frames and agency sounds use instructions for lyrics. Layering of points of sound to create visuals from wearing 4 earbuds. Album composed of other albums, magnification of each song to create an album each. Words composed of words, sped up and slowed down. You can hear 3 voices at once also. Mechanism of light built with screen and heat. A lens of heat created that creates another lens. Clear AR visor on hoodie hat, bills, reflecting cell phones with 4 earbuds also create visuals. Painting on food live, turning a bar into an escape room with the 360 YouTube videos being keys to be able to escape and unlock codes for the escape room. 3D WebGL/AR, 6 levels, played at the same time, activating lucid dreams as monitor. The 360 YouTube videos have all the frames viewed at once for this choose your own adventure. Quantum Eraser Experiment USIntelligenceCollaborationApFusion includes dream machine, an example of dream machines. So you'll be able to use a dream machine as like an element of the US Intelligence Collaboration App Fusion Quantum Eraser Experiment, rewriting starlight waves, particles without time to source. Which also, I'm going to add So previously sketched items can be turned into music by chopping up the grid, condensing those grids to points, and then feed that into the photo read to nodes. So you take a sketch, you form it into, you chop it up in a grid, and then you form those to points, and then you layer those over musical notation, and then you read it into the sight read program. So you scan imaging, and then you use MURDA, and then you scan the use like MURDA office automation, like office auto stuff to scan to form it to musical notation, and then you scan music. That's the algorithm for this album. It's so this is the level of work, and allows you to control how long I'm on fire. The mechanism allows you to control how long I'm on fire, and you actually get to like strategize for yourself your own space broadcasts by arranging, dragging and dropping items. It's like cell phone power. Cell phones are. This also describes the fatal export to Antarctica route. But it's all like that. This is the mechanism for it. So, and the experience just Google Earth View. Whiskey shot magnets activating landscape. Chest set. Chessboard. It's actually a clear chessboard. And it sits on top of a surrealistic landscape. And chessboard squares can be used with the magnets to put them at different levels. So it kind of like gives your opponent like, oh, I think what activate landscape learning and different needs. It's a very Dungeons and Dragons esque kind of thing. There are other tools though. It's very kind of funny and straightforward. It always has like a magic activation. It's not for that. But this is the way I think that people would be really interested in a escape room environment. It really maximizes the experience of the show and the walk. tools and information samples, like the next page. So yeah, I like that idea of the route to Antarctica. Anyway, race or sea to Antarctica. Saying that you have Antarctica, certain runners, certain interests, or runners trying to use it. I kind of like that play, race RC to Antarctica. It's like a race in Russia, China to Antarctica. Because it's going to be used, and we need to be the ones who are there to settle it first. Because Washington is unsettled. So why? Our brains stop firing. It's still be used. Our brains can still be used when they're not firing. Especially with modern technology. And especially if you use an instant freeze, you'll instantly preserve the brain. It's just, it's seriously crazy. And then when people get closer, like, to their death, I'm theorizing lately that, the consciousness of the prefrontal cortex can be removed and built upon. I'll describe this stuff later, but, when you're about to go, and you still have consciousness in the frontal cortex, that consciousness house can be used and built upon to have a set of consciousness in that you can make sure it's an exact copy of what you have going on already. And then you can, this is like a neural interface is what they've been using lately. Anyway. In the Arctic, polar bears are a problem. And wolves are a problem. So you gotta have protection there. And the cheapest protection for that is to use a 12 gauge with brass shells, where you fill the shell full of powder, you use a spacer, and you put a slug in there, and then you space the cap. It's like an oven. It's like a homemade oven. And that's the only way to take down a polar bear, or not necessarily a wolf, but that's the only way to take down a polar bear in that kind of camouflage, because they have perfectly white coats, and you can't see in front of your face. You can't see the hands in front of your face. So if polar bear's up on you, a little pistol ain't gonna do nothing. You're not gonna be able to stop them with a little pistol, or even the only thing you can do is have a chance to start off 12 gauge with an elephant around in there. The only way to get the elephant around is before. The only way to have the elephant around is 12 gauge brass shell. From what I can see, I don't know much about that kind of stuff, but I did a little bit of research, and that seems like that's the only way to stop polar bear when it's up on you. But even at a distance, because they keep coming at you, nothing puts them down. They ain't gonna be run away. They just get angry. Especially if they're hungry like the polar bears are. It's an issue. Peace symbol continuously painted around the earth with aluminum you can use aluminum powder that emanates from time capsules dispersed, or it can actually be aluminum that algae consumes and passes through the water. Because algae consumes aluminum. It really likes aluminum for some reason. And so you can continuously paint a line around the United States, a line around the Earth with an aluminum algae, with aluminum as your color. And you can extend the line with time capsules that you drop into the ocean along that path, decomposing. it might be a feasible thing. So it is possible to do that. And that would be something that by racing Russia and China to Antarctica to create a peace. Well, I mean, technically it could be, to create immortality, to really externalize minds and offer it to everybody. And when that's not anymore, and all of a sudden we're all just like infants, in the face of this thing. And that could create a world peace. Anyway, we gotta be Russia, China, and Antarctica. Which is all there is to it. Universe Travel Guide. Mechanism of the level is space-like quantum racer build zone with mind lucid dreaming sent as mist. So with the quantum racer experiment focused on starlight, we're able to arrive before sent to anywhere thought and any thought throughout time. So that's heavy. One thing about it is that there are no parallel universes created. So those only exist in our mind as like a deja vu. This kind of has resilience because of the bending of the light in our minds is so heavy. So much bending going on in our brain's perception that it has resilience. And it's not very good resilience because we barely recognize the difference. From what I can tell. So, the US intelligence is first in this. It's first in time travel with the quantum racer experiment. And if you build really well and they approve of it, they might actualize it. They might actually let it happen. And it would be imperceivable, potentially it'd be imperceivable. Maybe it'll let you know, maybe not, whether you have success or not of it. Control experiment on the opposite side of the Blume. Michael Collins is the first to be available for and to perform experimentation with the perfect control experiment when he got the information of the moon vibrations and disturbances with his isolation and uncontaminated Earth vibrations now isolated. So he's the first to have the ability to conduct proper atom studies and things in perfect isolation of Earth and the moon. Theoretically, his work led to the creation of the most powerful weapon on Earth and vastly streamlined perception of the universe with X-rays, etc. And our use of the quantum racer experiment focused on starlight. So they had no idea what the moon's level was. Like the magnet, the electricity, the light, gravity, the atom behavior. All we had was only Earth. So Buzz and Neil were largely at these types of experiments we think are unable to perform those because of the levels that got contaminated. Though they were the ones who were able to conduct the experiments, created to measure the vibrations and interference with the atom experiments, etc. I bet if I look up Collins compared to Buzz, he was actually the first to walk on the moon because shoes are shoes, and the lander's shoes walk when he controlled the landing. Like, it didn't land like straight on all four. Like, it walked, and he walked it. Like, that's literally how it landed. Like, it's impossible for it to have just like sat on four. Like, it walked. to have itself at that level of closeness to the moon. Anyway, I bet if you look up Collins compared to the rest of them, that he's probably gonna have a stronger science background. I don't know though. I'd have to check. Hashtag Dear Moon Project. So there's this guy who's sending artists around the moon with Elon Musk. And my idea is to project onto ice crystals that form on the windows and fall off the spacecraft and whatnot. And by projecting onto the ice crystals, it burns images onto the ice crystals that are then flying out into space and flying onto the moon. And you can also potentially, well, I guess you can't really do that, it's kind of a distance, but by projecting your work onto the ice crystals, you know, you're really sending your work into outer space. No, I guess that the only hope for the survival of it is the imprint of the projecting onto dust into the moon. Because once it hits the heat of outer space in the sun, bright white, like it's bye-bye. You know, those things are gone. So that's a thing. So the goal of my invention here for the Dear Moon, the hashtag Dear Moon project, is to hit the moon with these ice crystals when it's on the dark side of it. So that the ice crystals, because I'm hoping that there is no burn-up of the ice crystals on re-entry into the moon surface, and that when they plummet or gently float to the surface of the moon, it leaves a nice imprint. I know they'll be super small, but you know, with the technology, maybe one day we'll be able to see them, you know. And theoretically, they're going to hit and they're going to be preserved if that's the way that ice floats to the moon. If it floats gently to the surface, like snowflakes, then we got it. Space elevator model. Watered volcano soot aerodynamically filtered into lightning surplus zone. So there's two places on Earth that I found that have lightning surplus zones capable of creating a space elevator. One is the Congo volcano. It has the right type of soot that can be created from the lava, and has a water source to create the soot with. The other is the Philippines. It doesn't have as much lightning though. And you need the lightning because that magnetizes the soot. They call it magnesia stones. Weather balloon platform, towing model rockets launch themselves into space. So we got a space elevator that we can build out of soot, and you could collect small particles into space with that. If you keep pumping this soot that's aerodynamically formed like it's one of those maple trees with the winged seeds, shoot them up into outer space, and you can charge it to go further into space, into the atmosphere, by a downdraft. So by falling, it activates the fan up into the sky. The falling soot powers the aerodynamic formed magnets into further into space. And then once you get, then those can be towed to the to where there's no atmosphere to escape the gravity of Earth. So it tows within itself, the formation tows the object to the edge, and then is able to get further out. Through that. So that's a weather balloon platform towing model rockets, launching self to space. So people are often building $5,000 model rockets, right? And they launch them into space. They don't actually get to space yet. Maybe they've made it by now. It's called the Rocket Maverick. Or the weather balloon platform can be created. So you can tow, you wouldn't have to spend $5,000 on a rocket, I don't even think. And you could get into outer space with it. Because they don't take advantage of the ceiling height of weather balloons. So you get a whole bunch of weather balloons together to tow the model rocket to the furthest reaches. And once those weather balloons go, that activates the model rocket to launch into space. And you can send cell phones into outer space that way. All day. Real cheap. All you need some weather balloons. And I think you have to homemake those rockets anyway. But I guess at this point, they probably have mass-produced rockets. They're mass-produced model rockets you can use. You can send it right into outer space. I really don't know. But I know that that's quite a bit of save of money is to use model rockets, is to use a platform of weather balloons. We can send all kinds of little creatures out there too with cell phones. You have little flies in space. You know, like little gnats with the cell phone. Oil cliche, secret batteries. Light signal on charging battery and or running until power is passed by. Oil depletion. The car alternator can be used to create electricity devices. And you can't Then you have shifts. People passing by on the Tesla coil bicycles end up powering all the electricity. People working inside the building with leaves. That's kind of fascinating thing. Maybe the animals didn't want to do that. These animals on bicycles. Animals on bicycles. Flies around in space, something, and externalize mind, then explore a new horizon, then return to a sense of information, God, omnipotence, which neutralizes all. Externalize mind by sending four areas of the brain out of consciousness to a mechanism of growth and life, then use quantum research limit to send the mechanism by rewriting waves, particles, that is a new observer frame 18 billion years in the past at the edge of our until the universe, that then rearranges light, streamlining the information flow, then the information shields. Explore the new horizons for information about isolated people and the location of the observer that's edge of that observable universe. Then return to your sense of invoking God omnipotence, which neutralizes all. Use the firing synapse level to externalize consciousness. Then use the mechanism of light orbit level to upload consciousness to the soul. Then use the universal time travel, use the universal travel, universe travel level to scan the next horizon for the observer and map out all evil in the universe and locate the new observer. Then return to a sense in the time travel level to the present info God needs to gain omnipotence to neutralize all of evil. So this is me in hospital bed, on his deathbed, level, dream sequence, monitor, the mechanisms levels, what is controlled by the body, and the level itself is visual of me in hospital bed. Copper box, copper pipe, waves forming the office, usually RF screws. I think I can do a lot of things. If the office completely burns out, completely shielded, one of the things to do that is the tapping would be able to communicate. You have like like tapping is like a bind, and you can use it to activate packages of information. But yeah, I think that's probably the best thing. I don't know, I'd like to try copper pipes, you know. I think they're alloy, that's why they're cheaper, but that might work. Not certain though. Plates are expensive. So, the drastic price change between a whole pipe and a plate makes me think that the pipes are not actually 100% copper. That makes a difference though. Elongated clear plastic revolving door with magnets cutting internal wires of technologies by bending them at right angles. So I've had this idea for a very nice entrance to a building. I've actually built it out, like in a show and things, like composed out of people instead of actual magnets. This is a very intricate project. Very intricate project that allows the animation actually to perform through the panels, because it will have several panels that change transparency as you're going through it, and that creates an animation with the changing of the door at the end. So a regular spinning door is like circle, so this is elongated, so it's an oval, like at the carousel baggage claim, except that would be like entrance to the place. This would be a really good security measure because you can use it to cut. You can use it with magnets to cut internal wires of technology by bending them at right angles. So say someone has like a hidden mic on them or something, and they're not supposed to camera. Run them through the revolving door a few times, and it bends the cords inside those microphones and cameras at right angles. It's kind of like when you don't have a pair of scissors to cut wire with, or wire clippers. You bend it back and forth a million times at right angles, it cuts the wire. So that would be the same technology that would do that. But you don't call that technology, but I guess it is now, right? So. 5 tasers used to fly a cell phone inside an animal. It's already animal rights is like a thing, it's already going to be a deceased animal. I'm talking about torturing animals. Like an animal that I'm going to eat, like a deer or a cow or something. Humans can handle up to 5 tasers at once. 5 tasers. And a cell phone, if you get hit at the right angle by a taser, it's done for. It's got to get hit at the right angle, or it won't do anything to it. You got to get hit at the side. With the face or the back, it's not going to fly. So, I'm wondering if you hit the face with 5 different tasers, or the back of it with 5 different tasers, no matter if you're hitting it at the right place, Evolving symbol set, spectral symbols, spectrums, scripts. So, a gimmicky sculpture with levitating motions that contains the script of your externalized mind. And the portfolio's algorithms for productivity. And what composes you as your spectral symbol spectrum. So also it can be a spectral symbol spectrum. You shine a light on it and it creates like a holographic kind of thing. So it's a magnetic sculpture, so it has like levitating motions. And then it contains scripts with the writing. So like the images that you purchase are composed of your script that is your externalized mind. So like the code of like and your consciousness algorithm is like within this piece of paper. Because I mean it's just binary that we're dealing with when you externalize your mind. So that means you'll be able to copy that consciousness into a binary form and then use that as, like you see on dollar bills and stuff now, where it is like an engraving, where it looks like it's made of cursive writing. So in this form, it will actually be writing. A bunch of ones and zeros. Or something more advanced. And actual writing. And it'll have directions for what you are doing, you know, with your consciousness. And how to preserve your body and your brain. And so this is just like pushing the limits of what a still image is and can do, with just like a little more gimmick added to it. So you add a magnet to it. And it's really interesting, like, the niceness of like these little things that have magnets and how they float. The original idea is to create like an all-seeing eye that like a pyramid with the all-seeing eye, like a Freemason-based thing, but it doesn't have to be confined to that sculpture. Screen with several layers, imitating texture and avoiding glare. So a screen thicker than a normal screen. It has several layers, so that it's like the perfect kind of camouflage, you know, where like when light hits it and when you perceive it, it like doesn't act like a normal screen. So like it counters any kind of glare that would happen as a matte finish. And a depth. So you get layers of textures, not just a single layer for like this camouflage. Spinning strobe, animation, sculpture suit, painting, spinning, fluid strobe, sculpture. So, if you have a sculpture that spins, we have examples of this on YouTube and at the History of Motion Pictures in New York. You can hit it with a strobe light and it creates an animation. And so we need a sculpture. We need sculptures surrounding a suit that is also spinning. So like every web and every everything that it's in contact with. So like brushes that are spinning also with strobe, activated by strobe light. You see the animation. It's very fascinating. The food that's spinning that you paint. And the suit itself can be food that you eat. So a spinning strobe animation sculpture suit. And then with that suit on, start painting spinning food strobe sculptures. The strobe lights, you know. So if it flickers, if you get the timing right, it creates the animation. So if it spins the right speed and the flickering of the strobe is at the right same suit can be used to charge batteries with every action. And you could actually like strip it up in sculpture and just walk around and charge batteries all day. Have different levers and ropes, pulleys like on a small scale where every action collects the energy. It turns like mail-shaped microphones. That's an important innovation that you never see, especially with today's climate. And the very, very top on stage, but even recording right now, very forthright. Very important for people on stage to have males on stage to have female-shaped microphones. A lot of flack is given. A lot of masculinity is taken from us by not having those on stage, and no one will do it. They're afraid, I guess. It's very sad. Audiences tear people up on stage because of it. So, it doesn't have to be graphic or anything. Instead of a male-shaped microphone, you can even have a male-shaped microphone inside of a house, inside of a sculpture that is a female shape. I think that's quite important for people. But they're just not doing it, you know? And if you combine it with the projector ideas, the hologram ideas, it'd be quite nice. I think it would be quite a good change for people. Carpet level mechanism of light guy. So this is like spectral signal spectrum, like light guy, where like a mechanism composed of lenses of heat instead of lenses of glass, plastic, or water, focusing light to form other lenses fueled by light. So a mechanism completely composed of light. The mechanism of this level are security sleep sensors. So while you're using lucid dreams to monitor, you have security sensors of your sleeping position and whatever else you can think of. You know, it's really important with the augmented reality advancements that we use this to protect ourselves while we sleep, because we can seriously injure ourselves in our sleeping. It's happened to me. I've gotten seriously injured in my sleep. Inside a water bottle, right next to your face when you're sleeping. You know, you got a water cup next to your bed. It's going to be a waterfall. And the mechanism that gets it going is, you can use a wind, like a little windmill that pumps some water. So it spins. So this little windmill on top of the water creates this waterfall within it, and it has a package design that uses refraction of light. That the package design is you're at the beach or a waterfall, so it'll cure ever turn the bottle cap into a windmill though, right? Like you'd have to have it's all right there. Maybe you'd have to add a little bit to get the windmill to work right. Like a little fan or something. Freeze-dried lobster concentrate. So like lobster flavor. There's a lot of lobster that doesn't get used when you're like you go to one of those lobster places, that serves like lobster sandwich. That's a lot of lobster that didn't get used. That's really good flavor. But the idea is to concentrate on the lobster seasoning. It's kind of strange. That's not a thing. Edible cobalt magnet powder floats. But chewing gum that floats in a magnetic box. B12 is cobalt. Cobalt is B12. And that floats. So I like the idea of a energy drink gum that can actually the packaging is a magnet and it actually floats. So like you open this box and chewing gum is just floating in there like some sort of space food, some sort of crazy thing. Be kind of cool. I think people would be really into that. Garden of Eden wine, vine splices, apple grafts, and olives. Congo permafrost ancient Egypt research space elevator. So, the original wine vine and apple graft olives still around today. So that would be a place to go. And then you got this one country that has something like 200 different varieties, like significantly more than other countries. So that's going to be a place that has the original wine vine probably. And I bet you could probably chart it. I don't know. I think that would be a place to go. Apples, I don't really know. I'd like to know where apple graft. So the chart somewhere. Maybe that ain't chart. Maybe it is though. That'd be nice to have. Also, olives. Keep track of the original olive tree. obsessed with like preserving things that they will use the permafrost and the championship to talk about it. So if you think this out, use all the hieroglyphics. It will take generations to create this one wall. Several generations. So in that amount of time of innovation, father to son, you know, maybe they threw some daughters in there too, but usually they use males in that society from what I understand. They would have serious innovations created over that time. So in that, they're not going to be working with a two-dimensional surface anymore. They're going to be three-dimensional, and if they're working with hiding things, they're going to be hiding the map within a matrix of information. And there's already a matrix formed. So that's how you find the all kinds of things, just to matrix out the hieroglyphics. So one wall, like a three-dimensional space, like layering of the imagery, evolution from one form to the next, and from that form on that wall, like all four walls, the ceiling, form like the exact hieroglyphics that, like, you're gonna see that I don't think that, you know, that that's a way to find things in ancient Egypt. Because for people like us, there's no way we can sit there and stare at a wall our whole lives and not think in three-dimensional. Like, we're painting three-dimensional things, and then we're going to end up wanting to build them three-dimensionally over, if not one generation, easily like our second generation. Venison, adrenal glands. Venison, adrenal glands. So, venison already has, I've been eating a lot of venison lately, it already has a lot of adrenaline in it, and it's noticeable compared with the amount of energy we have. So, you know, with venison being so empowering, like running compared to a cow, I think beef jerky made out of the adrenaline gland is a good idea. The only problem with that is preparing it will be pretty difficult because it sits right on the kidneys. So you really got a chance of it tasting pretty awful. So they have to be prepared for it, but it will be a really good thing, like energy drink jerky, like literally like beef jerky that's composed of adrenaline. Talk about an energy drink. Alcohol capsules. So alcoholics pour it into capsules so it isn't on the breath. So alcoholics have a lot of problems